Well,
it's a group consensus.
It's a group consensus, and it's the industry.
But just because yours didn't make it into our top 5 does not mean it's a bad one.
What I mean is, you have crap taste.
Zach's being very
our personal top 5.
Zach is being pretentious right now.
You need to get better taste. What's up, everybody? This is Zach, joined along with
Derek
and Robbie
of the Nerd Cave Network, and we're doing an awesome top 5 this week. We're doing top 5 first-person shooters, or better known as FPSs. There are a plethora of FPSs on the market,
absolutely.
And we're narrowing them down to the best ones. If you have not played them, you definitely have to check them out.
Best one in our opinions.
Well, it's
a group consensus.
It's a group consensus, and it's the industry.
But just because yours didn't make it into our top 5 does not mean it's a bad one.
What I mean is, you have crap taste.
Zach's being very
our personal top 5.
Zach is being pretentious right now.
You need to get better taste. No, I'm just kidding. These are our top 5s and our opinions, and you could share your opinions in the comments below. But we're going to start with Derek on this one. What is your top 5? What's your number 5?
My number 5 is made by a company that I was a huge fan of, still am, called Rare. And that is Perfect Dark, the original one for Nintendo 64. It had kind of a GoldenEye feel to it, but it was an original story. The story was actually really interesting, in my opinion. It had a strong female character, Joanna Dark, that you played as. And I spent hours upon hours playing that game.
Have not played it, but I am going to get my chance with
the Rare Collection.
The Rare Collection that's coming to the Xbox One.
Rare.
There'll be a lot. That game has over 10,000 gamer score in it. Now, if you don't know,
so it is over 9,000.
It is over 9,000. But if you've bought how Perfect Dark was available on the Xbox 360, if you had bought and played that on the 360, that gamer score goes towards that 10,000. So it's not.
That's awesome.
So you get that. You can start from there. So it's not as bad. But you don't get that extra on top of that.
Yeah.
So. But Robbie, yours.
My number 5 is something that I spent hours upon hours playing with my cousins on the Nintendo 64. That would be GoldenEye. 007 GoldenEye.
That's a good one.
I loved it.
Proximity Mines.
And the hat. I love playing as the villain with the hat. And I just...
Odd Job.
Yeah. Just throw my hat at my cousin and kill him.
Very nice.
It's a great game.
My number 5. Mine are more recent. Mine are not I didn't get into first person. I was a racer. I was a racer and a platformer. That was an awesome game. If you've never played Speed Racer on the PS1, is amazing. But my number 5, since it's first person shooter, I can't go with some of my other ones. But my number 5 is Black Ops, the first Black Ops. And the reason behind that, the gunplay was amazing, but it was the story. The story in Black Ops is so amazing that I was surprised that it was a Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, because it actually has, cerebral, type deal, and I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to ruin it. If you haven't played Black Ops 1, not 2,
you need to.
1, you need to, definitely. Derek, number 4.
My number 4 is a game that I spent hours and hours and hours playing, and I'm sure both of you did too. That would be the original Halo. Halo Combat Evolved for the original Xbox.
Library.
Library, yeah.
Library. It's just
First introduction into the Flood was the scariest thing in the world.
Still, I can't play that at night.
But I'm actually thinking about it more from the multiplayer aspect of it, because we spent so many Friday and Saturday nights having LAN parties with the original Xbox.
You mean when we weren't hanging out with all these other cool people at parties and whatnot?
Yeah.
With women.
And not video games.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, Halo was amazing. I remember playing with Justin Rose. That was who I played Halo for the first time. We were in it from Movie Gallery. And it was just so interesting. I was driving a Warthog, and he had the Scorpion, and I was jumping over this ledge, and he was shooting the Warthog just to see how high we could get it up in the air. Just stuff like that, because it was more than any other first-person shooter that had been at that point in time. That big of maps with all these different types of guns and an interesting story. Just an amazing game.
I remember playing it. Me and Brett would play it together, and we are somewhat of masochist, and we would put as the hardest difficulty, and we'd try to play through the campaign together.
Oh,
and that was some of the most fun I've had playing video games.
Always got to play Halo 1 Legendary after you beat it once.
Yeah.
You
got to enjoy it the first time.
Yeah. and then the
you
second
grind.
time you grind through it. But Halo 1 was an amazing game. And to think of it, it was actually going to be a third-person shooter only on the Mac. I think they made the right choice.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they definitely did.
My number... Nope.
I was going to say, My number 4 is Black Ops 1 as well. Just like you said, the story, the multiplayer, and it was something like different that they introduced into the Call of Duty world. And it was so refreshing to see it. And like countless hours putting into the multiplayer alone.
Multiplayer was amazing. That was the first game that I actually got into online multiplayer.
Yeah.
It wasn't it was just it flowed so well. Domination. That's my game type.
It was all fun. Every aspect of that game was awesome.
If people still played Black Ops 2, I would go back and play online for it.
So, what is yours, my friend?
My number 4, Halo 3.
Halo 3 is a good one.
Halo 3, it was just a wrapping up of the whole series, the whole trilogy. The graphics were amazing. I remember it was our senior year in high school, and we went midnight and got the game. And that's when they put out the helmets and everything. It was just amazing. It was one time, well, I missed a lot of school, but it was one time I missed band.
Like I didn't miss too much of school. And I didn't miss hardly any band.
We did. We went to band practice. There we go.
We missed school, but made it to band practice.
Yeah, exactly. But
because I remember Danny Bolton was pissed off at us.
Yeah, but it was such an amazing game. I remember just finding the brutes. That was when they were first introduced. And it just
taking the place of the
elites.
The elites, yeah.
And you had the hunters when you went to It was someone with a Z. I can't remember. No, I can't remember. When you went to Australia and they were there, and you had the turret, and you're just and all of that. It was just amazing. Great game. No, that was Halo 2. Never mind. Back up. You had the brutes, and you could jump on a prophet's chair and beat him to death with your fist.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
I was going to say, I was like, wait a second. I was like, this doesn't sound right.
It all blends together after a while. Derek, number 3.
My number 3 has already been mentioned, but it is GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64, which I believe might be the best-selling Nintendo 64 game of all time. I know it was number 1 for a long time.
Not Dr. Mario? Not Dr. Mario?
I played the crap out of Dr. Mario.
No, not Dr. Mario.
That's like into the cycle.
I played a lot of Dr. Mario.
But
I mean, what's wrong with
GoldenEye to me was like an early revolution of the first-person shooter. It was
like
so
everything
good.
you could do. Like I remember thinking, "Oh my God, graphics can't get any better than this." They obviously have.
Yeah,
but
I played it not too long ago. And I was like, "Wow, this looks terrible."
And like that was cutting edge at the time.
But I mean, it's still fun to play though.
Oh yeah.
Ding.
Ding.
Someone's not on that vibrator. Silent.
All right, Rob's
number 3. Something that's scared the crap out of me many a times, but BioShock.
Still haven't played those.
The original.
Yeah. Number 2 sucked.
Yeah.
If you would kindly tell us about BioShock.
Well, I have to now. BioShock. We're not gonna. If you've played it, you understand where we're coming from. But if you haven't, play it and you'll understand. But it was such a great game. Like you start off and you're in the water, and then you go to this lighthouse, and everything just goes to complete crap after that. And like learning like the different like abilities that you can get and all the guns and everything. Like my favorite thing is getting scared. I love to get scared. And there's plenty of times where you can get scared in this game.
That's why Robbie walks in front of the mirror and he's like, "Oh!"
I turn the light off, and I turn it back on so I can see myself. But it's just such a great game, and there's so many jump scares in it. And there's puzzles. I mean, there's so many things that you can do in that game.
I remember playing BioShock. I never finished it because it was scary. I don't like scary games. That's just
love
me.
them. I love them.
Even the Flood, like when you play later, like in Halo, you've played 4 or 5 of them, and you still get scared of the Flood. You know, I just that's not my thing. But BioShock was really interesting because of that. You know, these crazy people with like bunny masks and like jumping out. You know, that was always weird to me. And there's blood all over the floor.
I don't know why, but I've always loved. I love even finding movies to try to scare me. I love getting that adrenaline rush. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, my number 3, going back to Call of Duty, and I'm not a big proponent of Call of Duty. I don't want people to think this, but it was a game that I really enjoyed for a few reasons.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2 just was amazing. The ghillie suit part of it, where you had to sneak through this whole level to snipe one person, was so interesting to me as a gamer. And having that available in that game, just to get an achievement to play it on veteran and sneak through, not be seen one time, and kill the person, that was the achievement that I wanted the most. And I got that achievement. You can go to My Gamer Score and look. And it was just really cool. And the graphics were amazing. They were introducing so many new things. And that kind of spun all the first-person shooters to where they are now.
Yeah.
And if you haven't played Modern Warfare 2, it's good. Don't play Modern Warfare 3. That doesn't matter. The second one was good. And Captain Price, I love him to death. He was awesome.
I've loved the Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I've loved the series.
Yeah.
The franchise have done very well. I mean, there's been some, I wouldn't call them flops.
Flop.
I wouldn't call them flops. They still did well.
I mean, yeah, financially well, but story-wise and just gameplay, I thought it was crap.
But I mean, everyone that I've played, I didn't play Ghost, but everyone that I've played, I've enjoyed.
Well, I'm glad you didn't play Ghost because you would think the same way I did. Derek, number dose.
My number dose.
Numero doso.
Nope, number dose.
My number dose is Halo Dose.
Halo Dose.
Mm-hmm. Halo Dose.
Halo Doso.
Halo 2, to me, had both the best campaign and the best multiplayer.
Yep.
I can agree.
Out of all the Halo games. As great as Halo 1 was at the time, Halo 2 just
brought it to a new
took
level.
it to a whole nother level. Halo 3 was good too, and that was the multiplayer aspect that I really got into the most because we started playing with like Willis and all of them.
That's also how we started our first ever fundraiser / tournament thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Halo for Haiti.
Yep, Halo for Haiti.
Halo for haters.
But no, Halo 2 is my number 2, and it's easily the best Halo in my opinion.
The maps were awesome.
Oh yeah,
The maps.
SWAT. That's where it's at.
That is, you know how you get perfections for not getting 15 kills and not dying in in an online match. SWAT is the only time I've ever gotten a perfection, and it's the hardest one to stay alive in. That's like a crowning achievement of my life.
Robbie, your number 2?
My number 2 is probably not even on any of your top 5s, which obviously it hasn't been, but Destiny.
I didn't even think of that one.
I've put so many hours into Destiny, and like it's a first-person shooter MMO type, and like with these new DLCs that we're getting, it's getting even better. Like I even liked it when it was just Destiny, no Crota, no House of Wolves, but like House of Wolves bumped it up to a whole nother level for me, being able to do all this different stuff, the Trials of Osiris, the Prison of Elders, all the stuff that I've been able to do has added so much gameplay and better stories. It bumped it up made it into my second.
One thing with Destiny, I liked the first part of the game, like when I first got it, and it got boring because it didn't really have a story to it. And I agree with you totally with that the DLC has added a lot to it. The Prison of Elders is pretty cool because it reminds me of like a horde mode. And that's one of my favorite things of Gears of War, which is not a first-person shooter. That's why I'm pretty sure some people are like, well, Gears of War's not
exactly.
on here. It's a third-person shooter. If you
I
don't
figured
know,
we'd
tackle that. But first-person shooters where you just see the hands.
Yeah,
and the
kind of like with a Doom, a Quake,
like Like you're
Half-Life.
Like you are the person.
Yeah, you're the person. It's your
like you're not watching over the shoulder.
point of view type deal.
Yeah.
So that's why Gears has not showed up on my list.
Or it would have been in there.
Trust me, it would be up there. But Destiny is a good game. If you want to something to sink a lot of time in, it's one of those that you can. It's a shooter that you can do more, and with the expansion packs, it definitely helps with it.
It definitely, like I said, it elevated it to a whole nother level.
My number 2.
Let me hear it.
Such a good game.
What is it, baby?
BioShock Infinite.
I can't.
I know none of y'all have played it, but
I played the first hour of
BioShock Infinite is so different than BioShock 1 or 2. It's not underwater. It's not, it has a different feel to it. It has a very religious sect to it that,
like you have the zealots out there.
Yeah, exactly. The story. Oh my God. And if you've watched or heard me talk anything, story is what drives me to play anything.
Oh, yeah.
The story in this game is amazing. The combat in this game is beautiful. It flows so good. It's sexy.
Like I said, I played an hour of the game. Loved that hour. I wanted to play it more. I just never had the time or be able to play it, and I missed the free download for the 360, I found out.
Well,
So, yeah. So I'm probably going to try to get it again on the 360 and play it.
But the story, the way it ends, I'm not going to ruin it. I'm not going to spoil it.
I'm going to slap you, boy.
It is such a mind trip. I've never had a game that just what just happened.
Well,
it just.
I remember you and Willis talking about it extensively on one of our older episodes.
Yeah, it is so amazing. If you have out of all of the ones that I've named, this is the one that you have to play, even over my number 1.
See, BioShock has been so good at doing that where what just happened, even in the first one with the Would You Kindly, if you haven't played it, play it and you'll understand it. I was like, what the crap? Whenever, you couldn't control yourself and you had it blew my mind at that point. And then, BioShock Infinite, I don't know what happens, but it's super trippy.
It is a trip, my friend.
So BioShock has always been so good at bringing that
element to it.
Yeah.
The sad thing is that studio's last game. They're not making any other games because they disbanded. It makes no sense to me.
They were on top.
Yeah.
And
so
it's a good way to go out, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a bang. Number 1, my friend.
My number 1 is a game that was widely criticized when it was announced. It's a Nintendo game, and that game is the first Metroid Prime. Metroid, until that point, was always third-person, side-scroller, third-person. And when it was announced that it was going to be first-person, people were livid, saying, you can't turn Metroid into a first-person shooter. Well, Retro Studios did it, and they did a fantastic job. It was for the GameCube.
I was about to say, I was about to ask if it was for the GameCube because I've played it, and I liked it.
Yeah, and it had a really good story. You got to learn a lot about the Metroid lore.
Yeah.
And you got to learn a little bit more about Samus's background.
Yeah.
The soundtrack was great. The boss fights were fun. So that's my number 1. And the sequels are pretty good too, but there's just something about the first one.
Yeah.
The first
to me
is
has the
something
most
always appeals better.
It's the most replay
The
value.
only little bit of interaction I had with Metroid Prime was playing it in Walmart in the demos. When Walmart used to have demos. They still have some, but it was really fun when I played it and everything. I thought it was, if I had a GameCube.
Yeah, I would go, my cousin had it, Leanne, and I would tell mom and dad, hey, I'm going to Leanne's house, haven't hung out with her in a while, and I just go to a room and play her game.
I wish they'd release it on the virtual console.
Yeah, that would be
awesome.
cool.
Would you want to see them do the retro thing, how they've done with a few games? Would you want them to do that with that?
Yes.
Okay, then. There you go, Nintendo. Do something right.
Bring Metroid back and not the crappy 3DS demo you showed at E3.
That thing looked like junk.
Yeah.
All right, Rob.
All right. Mine, number
Captain
1,
Rob Bob.
is Halo 2. Because Like, that's the game that I remember in high school when we would have these crazy things called LAN parties.
What are those fancy things?
Those are prehistoric now. But, like, we would get together, like, it would be the last week of school, and we would go into these classrooms, and you'll see TVs and Xboxes, not Xbox 360s or Xbox Ones.
The big black box.
The big black box. And you'd have 2 TVs, 2 Xboxes, all connected and playing on these huge maps. And that was some of the best time I've had in high school. You know, not learning.
Oh, yeah.
Playing Halo.
Well, I remember, all of us getting up over at Blake Roney's house. We've done that a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Playing over there. And
I even did it at the Mendozas a couple times.
Yeah, I remember that too. And it was just so much fun. And like I've been saying, I love story. And the game itself had an amazing story.
Amazing. Incredible.
And the multiplayer, though, spoke so much because you could do the like, it had the glitches and all of that in there. The rocket sword thing, and then you go halfway across the map and kill somebody. That was always cool. Or get up on top of the wheel on Zanzibar. And it was just really, really fun. And it's a great game, and that's my number 1 as well. So
it's a good one.
If you haven't played it, you can definitely check that out in the Master Chief Collection. I would highly suggest at least watching gameplay. If you didn't play like the Nintendo 64 games, you kind of passed that point in time. But GoldenEye was amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, you can play Perfect Dark in the Rare Collection. But let us know what your top 5 first-person shooters are in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe. And this has been Zach.
Derek.
And Robbie.
Have a week.